Alright everybody, welcome to the channel. Today we're going through with cards, and this is my deck, Destroy and Discard versus a Light Infantry Spam Rush deck. Should be a very interesting game. This is a very difficult kind of deck to beat in the current meta of the game. Thankfully it might be changing soon, but this game definitely drags on. You can see here it goes over 6 minutes. Should be interesting. So to start off, I want any card that's under 3 credit points, so I have plenty of things to use in the opening round. I'm very nervous about these rush decks. My deck is a little weak to these. So he passes on the first turn. It's my turn. I don't have any other options and it's pretty low commitment, so I throw down my light guard. If he wastes a destroy card on that card, it's good for me. So this is my first indication now. He's tipped me off that he is in fact a light infantry spam deck. And this is good too that he's already wasted his deal 1 damage, I think winter fighting card on me. That means he's desperate to get that out of the front line, so I take the front line. The trick of these decks is you don't want to let them get the front line because that means they can fill it with light infantry and then buff them. So here comes out his light infantry. Now before they've buffed anything, you want to make sure you keep every single one of those off the board so that way they can't buff them. Also too, I'm throwing out my discard cards so he loses his buff cards. This is good now, he's already wasted multiple cards trying to break through that 1 guard in the front line. That was a lucky draw for me. Now at this point, the light infantry is not going to do much good, but I quickly get that Stuka out, hoping that I can bait more of his destroy cards. Pretty much that Stuka card, if you attack their HQ with it, it forces them to discard a card, making that pretty much a must kill. That card always demands a response. So now that he's finally broken through my guard, his normal strategy is starting to play out. He's developing the field, he's got buff cards coming, and I have to react quickly or he'll overwhelm me. I'm still going for discards, and the reason for that is I want him to discard as many of his buff cards as possible so that way he can't buff his infantry. With these kind of decks, there's no limit to how many of those light infantry soldiers they can spawn, so you want to make sure he loses his buff cards. That's the real weakness of the deck. Now obviously don't let them get light infantry on the board, but once it is, make sure you target their buffing cards inside of their hand. So now he's getting even stronger now, he's just buffed 2 of his infantry. I'm still going for discards. He probably was relying on that card, and I clear the front line. If you can't destroy all the cards in these light infantry spam decks, at least get them out of the front line so they can't touch your HQ. The longer you delay them reaching your HQ, the better. See, we're on turn 7 and he's just now approached my HQ. He's really eager to hold that front line. At this point, I do have to play a conventional move. I have to guard my HQ or he'll hit me hard. But I'm still going to destroy his buff cards. Without his buff cards, his infantry is weak and useless. Broke through the guard, and now I've lost my bomber. Looking bad for me, doesn't it? But I have my Leopold in my hand, so just 2 more turns I can make all this go away. So I just have to hold out for, actually at this point, yeah, 2 more turns. Make sure he loses his buff card, so that way I can't have a whole bunch of buffed infantry on me, and take out the strongest unit. That was a big loss for him too, there's no IS-2 coming for him. Now this is really bad for me, he's buffed a ton of his units now. If I didn't have the Leopold, I'd be in serious trouble right now. It's pretty much a must-have for a German deck. I was able to survive that first onslaught, and then I repeat it all back, and now that light infantry is all gone. No, a lot of these light infantry decks can rebound from a full retreat like that, so you have to be very careful. Just because you've cleared the board once doesn't mean that they'll come right back, because he can just drop all of those for 1 credit each, and then in a turn or 2 he'll be right back in my front line. And costing that, clearing the board did cost me my Leopold. But I gotta make sure I claim the front line. That doesn't cost me anything. This bomber's cheap, I can take out one of his cards. Need something else. Envelop is gonna be good to protect me. I decide between the destroy and the fighter here that makes the infantry retreat. It's better to get them off the board rather than burning a card to get one of them off the board. And later I can use that fighter to shoot up the HQ, which puts pressure on him, or I can use it to shoot up his light infantry. You can see here that fighter makes him really nervous. He burns a card just hitting it once, not even killing it. Now there's more light infantry coming, so at this point I have to focus on his HQ or this game is lost. Thankfully I still have one envelope left. So you see here, within 2 or 3 turns now, he's right back where he started. Even after my Leopold, he has a ton of buffed light infantry, so you have to be really careful. These decks rebound very fast. So at this point I just have to make a beeline for his HQ. There's no other way I can win the game. These light infantry decks have bottomless reserves of infantry that can just keep spawning over and over and over. Trust me, it's very difficult to kill them all. That's why keep your eyes on the prize, keep your eyes on their HQ. So this is really bad for me now. I have to destroy that guard or I lose the game. Now thankfully my envelope could kill everything in the front line there, but thankfully I'm able to break through, and I win the game. And that is how you demolish a light infantry spam deck, using Discard, Guard, and Destroy. DGD. Thank you everyone for watching, and make sure you subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.